Oh, hello. Welcome to another Table Impulse video. Today we're going to be talking about Kill Team Shadow Vaults, as it's been basically fully revealed on Warhammer Day as part of the Warhammer Day preview, which was today. Happy Warhammer Day, by the way, if you celebrate such things. So, look, always give credit where credit is due. Chapter Master Valrak was right on the money. Shadow Vaults is indeed Kasrkin versus Necrons. So my last video on the channel, two dueling rumours, we now know which rumour, which source was more accurate. And it is Chapter Master Valrak's source. He was right, he predicted this, so fair play. He predicted it would be Kasrkin versus Necrons. He predicted it would be the old Deathmarks and Immortals with a Cryptek and an upgrade sprue. The other part to his rumour, remember, is that he said it was coming out in October. He said that copies had already been sent out to reviewers. And if you watch the stream, Eddie Eccles did say that this would be out very soon. Could we be seeing a pre-order preview for this tomorrow? Is that a thing that's going to happen in the world? I mean, where are we now? It's the 8th of October today. So if there was a preview tomorrow, it would be on pre-order on the 15th, and it would be out on the 22nd. And if they previewed it on the 16th, it would go on pre-order on the 22nd and be out on the 29th. So its release date is either going to be the 22nd or the 29th of October. So we're either going to find out tomorrow or next week. That is insanely soon, if true. But given that Valrak was correct about all the other stuff, why would he not be correct about the October release date? Just something to think about. Okay, let me turn the volume off so you don't keep hearing Discord noises. Right, let's move on. Let's look at these Kasrkin. I'm going to have to get my laser pointer out. There we go, nice laser pointer. So, it looks to be a 10-man squad that you get, and I have no reason to suspect that it's not going to be a 10-man team. They've shown off 10 particular models on the Warhammer community website, but we know from past experience that this is not going to be all the ways to build them. So let's go through what they've shown off, and this is piecing together information from the video as well in terms of some of the names. So we'll start down here. There's a sergeant. There's no sign of any alternate weapons for the sergeant yet. They could be keeping them under their hat though. I suspect, as per the more modern kind of teams, the more recent kill teams, if he has a power sword or a power fist as an option, he'll probably lose the plasma pistol and go down to a bolt pistol or a hotshot las pistol if you want to take a good combat weapon. And so probably this is the way you'll field him, because plasma pistols are really good. Gunners, we've got a plasma gunner, we've got a grenade launcher, we've got a flamer. Now in the stream, if you watched the stream, they said the following things. They said there was 2 of each special weapon in the box. Okay, and then specifically said there were 2 melter guns, 2 plasma guns, 2 flamers, and 2 hotshot volley guns. I'm hoping that we don't get to double up in kill team, because for our purposes as kill teamers, that would be kind of upsetting, right? If you could take 2 plasma guns and a plasma pistol, well, there you go. This is the best meta team now. Okay, it's not quite that simple, but it's close to it. I'm assuming in 40k, the way this squad will work is it will be 10 guys with 2 special weapons, and the 40k players will want 2 melter guns or 2 plasma guns or 2 grenade launchers or 2 hotshot volley guns, because in 40k squad level game you want to double up. I'm assuming that us kill teamers aren't gonna have, if you can hear that honking outside, I'm sorry. I'm assuming that us kill teamers aren't gonna have the option, hopefully actually, of, seriously man, could you not honk your horn? Someone is leaning on the horn outside. I'm very sorry, I'll try and ignore it. I'm assuming that us kill teamers are not gonna have the option of doubling up on special weapons. Okay, if we do, that could be annoying, potentially. So they all, They've also mentioned melter guns and hotshot volley guns. Now, the melter gun is definitely not pictured. We can assume there's going to be a melter gun option in there. We've also got... Hang on a moment. I'm very sorry. Sorry for the little cut there. I don't know what that was all about, right? It wasn't even anyone on our street. It must have been someone a couple of streets away honking like a maniac. So, melter guns, not shown, but we can presume melter gun will be an option. Hot shot volley guns. Is this a hot shot volley gun? This is why I've put gunner question mark trooper here. Because if you see here the tip of this las gun or hell gun, this looks like a double. This looks like a double-barreled gun. This looks like a double-barreled kind of hell gun. Whereas here you get the clearest view of a normal hell gun or a normal hotshot las gun. It seems to be this kind of single barrel arrangement. So we may here be looking at the hotshot volley gun option. So the question is really with this team, how many gunners are they going to be able to take? Because we already know from the stream that you can assemble them all as standard. I haven't got any pictured here, but you can assemble them all as standard guys with hotshot las guns. And they've shown us potentially 1, 2, 3, 4 gunners. Is that indicative? Are we going to be able to take gunners, 4 gunners? Are we going to have 4 gunners with a choice of 5 different guns? And are they going to presumably not be allowed to double up, but potentially double up? So you're going to take most of the time what? A plasma gun, a grenade launcher, a melter gun, presumably the hotshot las gun, and a plasma gun, a grenade launcher, a melter gun, and the hotshot las gun, and drop the flamer. Is that what's going to happen? That seems like, depending obviously on what the rest of the team is like, this is a very legible Imperial team. They're going to have a lot of guns. They're going to be really, really good at shooting. They've also got good armour. Yeah, they're only a 10 model team, but I think they stand a chance of being quite good and quite straightforward to play, I feel. They've also got a sharpshooter, so this is going to be some kind of sniper. Might he have silent? Don't know. But this is going to be some kind of sniper type character. This guy, a lot of people are calling him a normal trooper, but in the actual preview, he's flagged up as being a combat medic. You can just about see on his hat, he's got the little diamond shape under the Imperial Guard logo here. That is the 40k medic symbol. And he's going in his pouch here. Presumably, it could be for a magazine, but presumably he's going for some bandages or something. So this is actually a medic, so we know what a medic's going to do. We've got a recon trooper. Not quite sure what version of being able to shoot people who are concealed potentially he has, what kind of version of Auspex scan he's going to have. We've got a Vox trooper. We can hazard a really good guess at what he's going to do. He's going to issue orders. And we've got a demo trooper, and we can probably hazard a decent guess of what he's going to do. And much like the Navy Breacher, he's got some extra armour model onto him as well, so that's probably going to be represented in the rules. I think the Kasrkin look like they're going to be a solid team. They look like they're going to be a reasonably beginner-friendly team. They look like they're not going to need that much in terms of special rules to be good, but a lot of it's going to come down to how many gunners they're allowed to take and whether they're allowed to double up on gunners, because there's now that question mark in my mind about whether they're going to be able to double up on gunners. If they can't double up on gunners, then potentially it's a one-box team. You build your melter gun instead of a flamer, and you've got everyone you would want. And then maybe if you want a flamer for Into the Dark, that's when you pick up a second box just for the flamer. But potentially they're a one-box team. The other thing I'm thinking about is if you prefer the look and feel of Tempestus Scions, I think you probably can use Scions to proxy this team. Scions have hotshot las guns. They have a grenade launcher. They have medic pieces on there. They have flamethrower pieces on there. They have the sergeant with the equivalent weapons. They have the comms. They have this. The only things you need to convert potentially are the sharpshooter, the demo trooper, and the recon trooper. But I think if you wanted a Scion team, and I don't think they're going to make a Scion team separately to these, but I think you can probably convert Scions to proxy as Kasrkin if that's something that you want to do. And fair play, that's a pretty good idea as well. Right, let's have a look at the Necrons, which we've got a proper name for. These are the Hierotek Circle. The Hierotek Circle. Now, these are a return to the upgrade sprue paradigm. And I know some of you watching this will be spitting feathers at the idea of upgrade sprues. I actually don't mind this. I'm not totally sold on the box for another reason, but I actually don't mind the upgrade sprue thing. I think that the plastic Necron range is pretty cool. I think that the upgrade sprues can make... upgrade sprues are a path to having something that is really representative of that 40k faction, and I actually really like them, and the Necron team is the part of the box that I'm actually the most excited for to build, paint, and play. And let's go through these. So we've got 3 totally new miniatures. So for all that it's an upgrade sprue, it seems like it's this box. So for those of you that don't know, the Immortals and Deathmarks are a single box that builds Immortals with the Gauss blasters, Immortals with the Tesla gun, I've put one over here, and it also builds the Deathmarks, right? That's an existing kit. So it's going to be those 5 guys, plus you're going to get on your upgrade sprue, you're going to get 3 entire models. Yeah, the Hierotek, the Plasma Sight Accelerator, and the Plasma Sight Reanimator. And then you're also going to get the Technomancer, who's a HQ choice for the Necrons that already exists in 40k, thrown into the box as well. So I think this is going to be a 9-model team, right? You're going to have your set of 5 Immortals / Deathmarks. You're going to get your Technomancer, make 6. You're going to get your Hierotek, your Plasma Sight Accelerator, and your Plasma Sight Reanimator, which makes 7, 8, 9. Right, so I think it's a 9-model team. That scans to me. That makes a lot of sense. In terms of specialists, here's what we know. We know less because they're less legible than Imperial stuff. So you've got your Technomancer, you've got your Hierotek, and you've got something which is called a Plasma Sight Accelerator and something which is called a Plasma Sight Reanimator. So I'm guessing that the Necrons are going to mostly be about auras and buffs. I'm guessing that the Reanimator is going to make it easier for things to stand back up that are near him. I'm guessing that Necrons are probably going to gain Resurrection Pro, the ability to resurrect. At the moment, it's a 0 CP strat. I'm guessing they're going to gain that as kind of part of their baked-in special rules for their team. And the Accelerator's probably going to make their weapons more powerful within a certain radius. And I'm sure the Technomancer and the Hierotek will bring their own buffs to the table. So I think that's the kind of team it's going to be. Presumably the Accelerator is going to be the way, actually, thinking about it. Necrons, at the moment, in the Compendium, have a 2-circle move. So presumably that Accelerator is going to be able to give them back up to that 3-circle move if they're nearby him, her, or it, whatever that is. And the Reanimator is going to help with your reanimation protocols. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. Now, in terms of your upgrade sprue, you also get some parts here to make an Immortal Despotek, however they want you to pronounce that. And he comes with a different head. He's got like a little chain there that these guys don't have on either side of his cartouche. He has these kind of shoulder ear things that come up here, and he has this weird little arm curtain that he has down here. So he's obviously using a lot of parts in your upgrade sprue as well. And then your Deathmarks, these are just standard Deathmarks. They said in the stream that they just have some extra heads, they have some extra bits of bling. So, like the Phobos, there's some cosmetic bits on that upgrade sprue as well, just to make quite an old kit look a bit more visually interesting. I think this is potentially going to be quite an interesting kill team. It's going to be a 9-model team. These 5 models have a lot of options, right? In that I presume your team is always going to include your Despotek, your Technomancer, your Hierotek, and your Reanimator and your Accelerator. Let's further assume that the Despotek has to be armed with a Gauss Blaster, although maybe you can have a Despotek with a Tesla carbine, I don't know. But that then gives you're building 4 guys that can be built 3 different ways. You can build them with the blaster, you can build them with the death as a death mark with a sniper rifle, or you can build them with the Tesla gun. Now, I'm pretty sure if this is a team that you play and you decide to play deeply and you want to build a full roster, you're probably going to get a second box of, not necessarily of the kill team, of the base Necron Immortal / Deathmarks box, so that you can have the full roster, so you can go, oh, we're playing Into the Dark, for example, I'll take all the Tesla guns, because at least in the compendium rules, they had, they have blast, effectively, right, which makes them really, really quite good in Into the Dark, but in overworld play, you're more likely to want the Ghost Blasters, which are, generally speaking, the better weapons. Maybe you only want 1 or 2 death marks, but maybe the death marks are going to be really good in the new rule set. They're going to have loads of ploys and things that make them really interesting, and they'll give them something to resemble their old Hunters from Hyperspace rule that lets them kind of appear on the tabletop and disappear, and having 1 or 2 of them will be quite good like that. That'll be quite fun as well. Right, we need to talk about the terrain, and I kind of called this, I think, in my last video. They have given us a copy of the Into the Dark terrain, so it's the same terrain. It's the same terrain as Into the Dark, and then if you watched my review, part 1, part 2 is coming eventually when I get around to painting it, right? If you watch my part 1 review of the Into the Dark terrain, you'll know that I said, look, the narrative stuff is separated out onto another. In fact, let's do this live and with 0 preparation, and let's weirdly lean away from the camera, because I'm the best YouTube channel. Into the Dark came with these 2 sprues of the narrative stuff, right? I haven't even bothered taking them off the sprue, not because I'm like, oh, I hate narrative. It's just because, as I'm going to discuss at the end of the video, I don't get around to playing that much. And so when I do play, I want to play the most sort of standard version of the game. I do intend to build this stuff eventually, right? But right now it sits in the box. So this is going to be another set of narrative stuff that's going to just kind of probably sit in the box, along with a second set of the identical Into the Dark terrain, which is probably going to sit in the box. Oh, my camera's frozen. I mean, amazing. I mean, my audio's still recording, but I look great on there. Let me see if on the... Bear with. Apologies, I'm cursed today. Camera's back. Seamless. You don't know how much time has passed. So. Do I want a second set of Into the Dark terrain? No. Unless I'm going to play the 40k boarding actions game. So even though this is a kill team channel, let's briefly talk about 40k boarding actions, because it ties in to kill team stuff. So they are launching a new way to play 40k. 500 points, boarding patrol, which is like a Zone Mortalis 40k game mode. Now, this is not totally outside my area of interest. I like smaller skirmish games, so this is going to be a game that's a bit bigger than Kill Team, but smaller than a standard 500 point game of 40k, because there's no vehicles and no monsters, and it's going to be played on 2 copies of Into the Dark. Well, I'm going to have 2 copies of Into the Dark after I buy this set, aren't I? So now I can play the 500 point boarding patrol style game. For those of you that hate Kill Team, heck, why have you been watching a Kill Team video for almost 20 minutes, but still, for those of you that hate Kill Team, you can buy a set of 40k boarding actions terrain, which is just 2 sets of the core Gallo Dark terrain without the narrative sprues. Sorry, I meant to say, and I got confused, one nice thing about this narrative terrain for Into the Dark is they do look like they'll be quite cool as little bits of scatter terrain a bit more, because they're a bit more like separate and solid, and they're fun. Fun little robots are fun, and this is a giant bomb in a crate. I mean, the terrain is more fun than the narrative terrain from the first set, so I'll give it that. Anyway, as I was saying, if you buy this box and you bought Into the Dark, then you've already got this box, this product. So you're a book away, assuming you've got 40. I just assume everybody has loads of 40k stuff that they don't really use, because that's certainly my lived experience. You're a book away then from just playing a 500 point boarding patrol 40k mission, if that's something you want to have. They're also releasing some bases. Would be really nice, I think, for these stuff come out alongside Into the Dark. I think they'd be really cool for Navy breaches on these Void War bases. I haven't built my Navy breaches yet. I might pick up some of these bases to build them on. It will also solve that problem of you being able to build a second gunner, because you'll get a spare 28mm base, I assume. Don't actually know what bases are included in this box yet, so don't quote me. But you'll potentially get a second 28mm base, allowing you to build another gunner on the correct base size. Because 28mm bases are quite hard to come by. Alright, final thoughts. Are you buying this one? Because I think this is possibly the worst box that they've made for Kill Team. I mean, I'm still going to buy it because I run a channel and because I'm a whale and because I like to buy stuff. And because I like Necrons and I'm quite hyped for the Necrons and I think the new Necron plastic stuff looks cool. But there's a lot less in this box than there was in Into the Dark. In many, many ways. So, first of all, you've got no core book, you've got no cards, you've got no Kill Team essentials. Right? Because it's not the first box of a 1 year cycle. So we understand the pattern now, right? The first box of the 1 year cycle, cards, essentials, core book. That's all gone. Tokens, no tokens. Okay? The terrain isn't just recycled terrain, it's the exact terrain that you already have from the previous box. So again, just like Arcturius came with brand new terrain, and the following boxes came with recycled terrain, at least there was a decent chance you didn't already own the terrain, right? In this case, the terrain is literally the same terrain, but you're getting that narrative sprue, or potentially 2 narrative sprues with the little robots on, which are kind of cool. Do you need a second set of the exact same Into the Dark walls? Do you like the idea of 40k boarding patrol missions at 500 points? Only you can answer that question. 2 teams, one of which is all new in terms of the Kasrkin, and one of which is an upgrade sprue team. Some people really hate the upgrade sprue teams. Actually, I'm quite lucid about that. I'm a bit annoyed about the terrain, but I'm quite lucid about the upgrade sprue teams. I hope that they roll on with more upgrade sprue teams for other armies that I think are cool. Like, I would much rather, for example, that the Death Guard kill team, when it finally comes, is straightforwardly some Death Guard Plague Marines with an upgrade sprue, than they invent some weird thing that is less cool than a squad of Plague Marines. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I quite like the upgrade sprue thing because it means that they're not going to make novitiates again. And ask me, would I rather have had a brand new Sisters unit, Sisters Novitiates, or would I have rather had the really awesome core Sisters of Battle squad with a cool upgrade sprue? And I would have actually have picked to have the core team, the core box from 40k with a new sprue. That would have made a cooler team of like veteran Celestians. Like, I want that kill team. So I don't mind the upgrade sprue thing, but that's me. You obviously will let me know in the comments if you feel very much differently about that. But just think about it that way around. Just a thought. Price is a factor. Obviously, if it's priced to sell, then that puts a different complexion on it. If it's, you know, much cheaper than Into the Dark, because they haven't had to design a whole load of new terrain. They've just pressed print on the terrain they already have, and they haven't designed 2 brand new, all new kill teams. They've just pressed print on a bunch of old Necron stuff, and they haven't bundled in the core book and the cards and the essentials pack and the tokens. So if it's much cheaper, then obviously value changes. Let me know straight away, do you think you're definitely buying it, definitely not buying it, or waiting on that price point? We now know a lot more about the format of the next 2 boxes to come this year. We know that they're going to come with the same terrain, presumably, as Into the Dark. I'm not going to build and paint 4 sets of it, am I? It's absolutely pointless. Like, maybe you want 2 sets to play the 500 point 40k boarding patrol thing. Once you've got your 2 sets, set 3 and set 4 are quite superfluous. Like, they may even go to school, to the Warhammer Club, like, please, just children, mess this up. I don't... But we're going to get an all-new team, and then we're going to get potentially the new narrative sprues, and we're going to get I can't get over the insanity of settling with the same terrain 4 times. Come on. Maybe they're going to do it twice, so it lines up with boarding patrol, and then they're going to do something else twice. That would be kind of at least something. I don't know. But I now need to update my predictions video because we're now looking for 2 more teams that are upgrade sprue fodder. So I'll be doing a video about that. Look for that tomorrow. What else? My hobby life is like nothing. So obviously we had a baby. Hooray. I'm very pleased, very happy. So that we stopped playing any games for ages. And then Paul Bad Zimall was going to come round yesterday to play Kill Team, but his mum has COVID, and he probably has COVID, and we have a small baby, so no thank you. And then, so we just, next week on Friday we would normally play, but I'm being sent on a course, so I won't be able to do that because I'll be in some godforsaken place till quite late on that day. So that means potentially the next time I'll get to play a game of Kill Team is like the 28th of October. Now, great. I mean, that's not a good, considering I'm going to an event in December, and hopefully I'm taking Starstriders to the event, but I've just not played them at all yet. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's why there's been a kind of a... Obviously, I've got stuff to talk about now. But with the channel, it's quite difficult. You've got stuff to talk about if you're hobbying and doing stuff. If you're not doing stuff, you can't just go, I'll sit down and bash out a YouTube video because you've not got the new experience to make the new YouTube video. But now at least we've got some stuff to talk about, kind of tide us over until I can get some more games of Kill Team, some games of Horus Heresy, some games potentially of Star Wars Legion played, and have stuff to talk about on the channel. Last thing, please subscribe. We're closing in on 1,000 subscribers. I'd really love to get to 1,000 subs. That will make me a very happy human being. Alright, I have talked for almost half an hour. Let me know in the comments if you're getting this. Let me know if you've got any more thoughts and questions and feedback about the new set. And cheerio, folks. I hope you have a fantastic rest of Warhammer Day. Bye-bye.